In my family, responsible is a love word that means Zoe will cover it. I know because I'm the one with the spreadsheet, the zipper pouch of receipts, and the habit of saying, it's fine, until it isn't. My name is Zoe. I'm 31. I live alone in a one-bedroom on the east side of Columbus, and I work in medical billing from a desk wedged between my couch and the window. My older brother, Eli, is 34 and even-keeled. My younger sister, Caitlin, is 27 and magnetic in the way people are when they don't worry about the bill. Mum, Yvonne, is turning 59 tonight. Dad left when I was 17 and the three of us slid into our lanes. Eli steady, me the fixer, Caitlin the fun one. We never really climbed back out. At 2:11 p.m., the family chat lights up. Caitlin, okay, babes. Mum's birthday dinner tonight at 6:30, chain place off the highway so there's parking. We're going big and we are treating her. Dress cute. The we lands like a weight. It always does. Caitlin loves big gestures as long as someone else grabs the check. My phone buzzes again. Eli sends a single shrug emoji. He knows exactly where this is going. I type, happy to celebrate. I'll cover Mum's dessert. Then I put my phone face down on a stack of EOBs and drink the end of my cold coffee. The plan is simple. Go, order light, buy Mum a slice of cake because I want to, and keep my card in my own wallet otherwise. Rent hit yesterday, $1,045, and I still check unit prices at Kroger. I drive a 2012 Corolla with a mysterious rattle that the mechanic says is nothing urgent. I'm not poor, but rich by rumor is a stretch powered by me being the one who keeps receipts straight. I close my laptop at 4 after finishing a batch of claims and pull the backup tote from the hook by the door. Inside, tissues, pens, a tiny fold-up umbrella, and the florist's paper-sleeved bouquet I picked up on my lunch break. Sunflowers and eucalyptus, $14.99. I tuck Mom's card in the inner pocket, cream stock, blue envelope, a handwritten note that took me 3 tries because I kept sounding like a greeting card. Caitlin has been calling Donovan her partner in crime. He's 29, handsome in photos, and enthusiastic about bottle service he doesn't have to buy. Eli's girlfriend, Lexi, is 33, quiet, the person who notices when someone needs water. Aunt Elisa, Mom's big sister, is 56, and the only one who will look Caitlin in the eye and say, no. At 5:02 p.m., my phone buzzes again. Caitlin. I told the place we're celebrating big. Dress cute. Might do a round of apps first, fun ones. Donovan's got Rex. My stomach drops at big. Big is code for order first, sort it out later. I text Eli privately. I'm not covering tonight. He replies, good. Proud of you. A beat later, I've got cash. I change into dark jeans and a black sweater, run a lint roller over it, and slip on boots that can handle sticky floors. I put the bouquet in my tote and thread the card under the ribbon so it peeks out. As I lock up, I say out loud, cake only, like a spell to keep me from sliding. Traffic on I-70 crawls, brake lights stretching red in the early dark. The chain place Caitlin picked sits off the exit between a tire shop and a furniture warehouse, the kind of restaurant that always smells like fryer oil and ranch. It's familiar. It's predictable. It's where we've done half our birthdays because parking is free. On the way, Mom calls from her kitchen. Do I need to bring anything? She asks, already fussing. I can hear the kettle pinging. Hers is dented. She's been eyeing a new one in the hardware aisle by the diner. I say, just yourself. I got you flowers. She goes quiet, soft. You always think of that. After Dad left, Mom stretched herself into the space he didn't fill and said yes to everything. I learned to keep the peace by smoothing edges. Caitlin learned she could joke her way through awkward moments. It worked until we started paying adult checks, and jokes had percentages attached. At 5:49 p.m., Caitlin posts a mirror selfie in the chat, sparkly top, captioned big energy only, and then Donovan says the spicy shrimp is a must. Also margarita pitchers. We good? 3 dancing lady emojis, I type, steady. I'm getting a salad and lemonade. I've got mom's cake. Beyond that, we should split fairly. I put my phone down for a full minute while my heart sprints. When I pick it back up, there's a typing bubble that vanishes. Then Caitlin, you're such a spreadsheet. Laughing, crying, emoji, whatever, we'll figure it out. We always figure it out, which means I pay and everyone vows to get me next time. There aren't that many next times when you're the one who remembers. I pull into the lot at 6:18 and park under a flickering light. The sign over the door glows. Through the windows, I can see the hostess stand, the red booths, a birthday balloon bobbing where someone else is already celebrating. I text in the chat, I'm here. A moment later, Caitlin replies, inside, corner booth. I told them it's a birthday, be fun about it. I lift the tote, feeling the awkward weight of the bouquet and the card. Cake only, I repeat to myself, and head in. Tonight, I can be responsible without being volunteered. I can be kind without being a credit line. The hostess smiles like she's been coached for birthdays and points us toward the corner section. It's a curved banquette with 2 chairs tacked on the ends, right by the swing door to the kitchen. Every time it opens, warm air and the clatter of plates spill out. Caitlin is already standing, waving like we're VIPs. Hi, birthday girl. She kisses Mom on the cheek and gestures broadly. Corner spot for the queen. I steer Mom to the inside, away from the draft. This side's warmer, I say, hand on her elbow while she scoots in. Eli holds the table so it doesn't slide. Lexi slips in next to him, a small smile, the kind that says she sees more than she's saying. Caitlin pats the chair by the kitchen door. Zoe, you sit here so you can grab the server. You're good at that. She drops something on my lap, slick and crinkly. I look down. It's a plastic apron from a party store, white with a flimsy neck loop. She turns to the table like a host on a game show. We brought our kitchen staff. Zoe's covering, she makes the most. She says it bright, eyes shining, and laughs so people know it's a joke. Donovan barks a laugh and drums his fingertips on the table. A couple at the next booth glance over. Mom's face goes tight, smile and winced at the same time. Caitlin, she warns, soft. It's a bit, Caitlin says, shrugging, already bored. Fun. Riley slides up then, pen tucked behind one ear, the kind of early 20s efficient that keeps a section running. Happy birthday, they say to Mom, setting down water glasses. I'm Riley. Any drinks to start? 2 margarita pitchers, Caitlin says, not waiting for the rest of us. Spicy shrimp to share, loaded nachos, spinach dip, maybe those honey chipotle things. Riley's pen hovers. Okay, I can put those in. Do you want to start a tab under someone's name? Caitlin points at me like she's landing a plane. Zoe's got it. Riley's eyebrows flick up for a second toward me. I meet their eyes. I'm getting a lemonade, I say evenly, and I'll cover my mum's slice of cake later. Got it. Riley nods, polite, neutral. Anyone else on the lemonade? Waters for the table? Eli raises a hand. Club soda for me, he says. He doesn't look at Caitlin, just taps his stack of menus into a neat square. Lexi, soft. I'll do an iced tea, no sugar. Aunt Elisa rolls the menu shut. I'll stick with water for now, she says, dry. Let's see how much all these fun ones run. Caitlin flips her hair. Relax, Aunt E, it's Mom's birthday. She drapes an arm around Mom and squeezes. Big energy. Mom pats Caitlin's hand and glances at me. I keep my face calm. Under the table, the apron sticks to my jeans. I slide it off my lap and set it beside me on the bench like it accidentally fell there. The margarita pitchers land fast, pale green with salt glittering on the rims of the short glasses. Donovan grabs one and starts pouring crooked, spilling a little. Top you off, babe? He asks Caitlin, like she doesn't already have a full glass. She giggles and bumps his shoulder. Riley returns with a tray. My lemonade with a lemon wheel. Lexi's tea. Eli's club soda. Are we ready to order entrees, or do you want to start with the apps? They ask. Entree, Donovan says through a tortilla chip. I'm starving. I close my menu. House salad, no croutons, I say when it's my turn. Dressing on the side, Riley nods. Do you want to add chicken? No, thank you. Mom points to a mid-priced pasta. This looks nice, she says, tentative. Great choice, Riley says. Anything else for the table? Caitlin taps the photos like she's playing whack-a-mole. Let's do the ribs for Donovan, the steak for me, medium rare, and we'll keep the apps coming if we need more. She flashes Riley a smile. We're celebrating. Aunt Elisa raises an eyebrow. Celebrating like there's an open bar. Caitlin laughs airily. It's handled. Riley scribbles, then sets a black check presenter down by my elbow with a pen tucked inside. I can keep this here for when you're ready, they say. They don't push, just place it like a coaster. Heat climbs my neck. The kitchen door swings open, and a blast of fryer heat hits my face. I can smell grilled onions and something sweet, like the glaze on the ribs. The presenter sits there, small and heavy, as if it has gravity. I'll let the kitchen know it's a birthday too, Riley adds with a polite smile to Mom. We can do a candle on a slice. I'll pay for that, I say. Her cake. Noted, Riley says, a little warmer, like I had spoken their language. They disappear toward the expo line. The table fills up with noise. Donovan is telling a story about a bar where he, accidentally, ordered a bottle that cost more than rent. Caitlin keeps saying, "Stop, you're going to get us in trouble," like that's a compliment. Lexi refolds her napkin 3 times and then leaves it alone. Eli counts the people at the table, glances at the pictures like he's doing math in his head. The apps arrive in a parade, steam and cheese and a mountain of chips under jalapenos. Plates scrape as hands reach. Someone pushes the spinach dip toward me. No thanks, I say, and take a sip of lemonade. It's too sweet, but it gives me something to do. Mom leans toward me. You sure you don't want something bigger? She asks, voice low. You drove all the way out. I'm fine, I say. Save room for cake. Caitlin clinks her glass with a fork and raises it like a toast. To Mom, she says, glowing under the overhead bulb. 59 looks incredible. We all lift our glasses. To Mom, I echo, and catch her eyes over the rim. She looks happy and nervous at the same time. The kitchen door swings. Riley passes with a full tray, hip bumping the door open. The black folder nudges my elbow again when someone jostles the table. It sits there, waiting like an assumption with a hinge. I set my hand flat on the table so I don't touch it. My phone buzzes once in my pocket. I don't look. I can feel my pulse in my ears. Entree hit the table in a staggered rush. Steak bleeding into mashed potatoes, ribs glossy with sauce, Mom's pasta in a wide bowl with a sprig of parsley that looks like decoration more than herb. My salad arrives last, cold and crisp, a ramekin of dressing sweating onto the side plate. The kitchen door swings open and shut, the heat puffing my hair every time. Caitlin cuts into her steak and holds up a pink bite with her fork. Perfect, she announces like she cooked it herself. Donovan hauls at a rib bone with his teeth and tells a story about a guy he knows who got bounced from a club for starting the party too early. Mom keeps asking if everyone has enough napkins. Eli trades salt for pepper with Aunt Elisa without talking, a small economy of motion. I eat my salad and drink my lemonade. It's fine. It tastes like sugar and lemon extract. Lexi leans toward me once and asks if I want some of her broccoli. I shake my head. Save it for later, I say, and she nods like she understands the subtext that has nothing to do with vegetables. When Riley circles back, I catch their eye. Can we do a slice of whatever chocolate cake you've got with a candle? I ask. For my mom. Absolutely, they say, and they mean it. I'll be right back. Caitlin lifts her glass again. You guys, she says, chin glossy with steak juice, this is the vibe. We needed this. She gestures to the pitchers, which are almost empty, even though I never saw anyone ask for the second one. The cake comes with a flame that wobbles as Riley sets it down. Happy birthday to you, they sing, a quick solo so we don't have to decide who's going to start. The candle sputters out on Mom's breath and she laughs, a little startled, like she forgot she's allowed to blow something out for herself. Make a wish, Ma, Eli says. He's smiling for real. I did, she says and pats my hand. I slide my card toward Riley as a signal. I've got the cake, I say. They nod, quick. I'll add it to your check, they say, and disappear with the card. We pass the cake around. I take a forkful and it's sweet and dense, like every birthday cake in every chain place since the beginning of time. Caitlin scrapes up a smear of frosting with her finger and pops it into her mouth. Worth it, she says. The black folder returns, this time not empty. Riley sets it by my elbow, then stays, pen poised, but not pushy. Whenever you're ready, they say. The portable card reader's screen glows blue in their other hand. I open the folder. The printout is long, curling over itself. The total sits at the bottom like a dare. 386 twirls before tip, appetizers stacked up like a tower, 2 margarita pitchers, steak, ribs, extra sides, a parade of things I didn't touch. Caitlin leans in over my shoulder like the bill is a mirror. What's the damage? She says, sing-song, like it's cute. Riley looks at me, then at the table, then back at me, steady, professional and patient. I keep my voice even. Split checks, please, I say. Mine is the house salad and a lemonade, and I've got my mother's slice of cake. There's a half beat of air. Caitlin blinks. So, what? Riley nods. No problem, they say, already drawing a neat line on the printout with their finger. Salad, lemonade, chocolate cake slice. They tap the handheld. Your total's 23 even with tax. Thank you, I say. I slide my card across the edge of the folder. Riley runs it and hands me a small slip to sign. I scribble. I fold a 20 from my wallet and tuck it into the folder under the signed copy. That's for you all, I tell Riley. Thank you for taking care of us. Their shoulders drop a fraction. Thank you, they say back, just as even. Caitlin laughs, high and thin. Okay, but we're not doing calculus at the table, she says, like she's appealing to the room. It's my mom's birthday. Aunt Elisa tilts her head. Then we should have decided how we were paying before you ordered 2 pitchers, she says. Not loud, just true. Mom's hands worry the napkin in her lap. Girls, she tries, embarrassed. I take the bouquet out of my tote and set it in front of Mom, the eucalyptus brushing her wrist. I slide the blue envelope to her, tucking it under her fingers. She touches it like it might run away. I stand. My legs feel steady. I pick up the stupid plastic apron from the bench and lay it on the table like an exhibit. If I'm staff, I'm off the clock, I say. My voice comes out calm. It surprises even me. Zoe, Caitlin says, warning and wheedle in one word. Eli looks at me and gives the barest nod. Lexi's eyes flick to the folder where my 20 hides and back to me, approving. Donovan's mouth is open like a hinge. I push in my chair. Happy birthday, Mom, I say, and lean to kiss her cheek. She smells like her drugstore lotion and candle smoke. In the entryway, the warmth drops off fast. The hostess says goodnight automatically. Outside, the air is cool and smells like wet pavement, even though it hasn't rained. The parking lot lights buzz. My phone starts pinging before I hit the curb. 1, 2, 3. The group chat lights up with Caitlin. What are you doing? Hello? Then, separate. My card declined. Get back here. Another ping, followed by an all caps Zoe. I stop under the flickering light and watch the screen. I can see the reflection of the restaurant windows in my black screen when it goes dark between messages. The bob of a birthday balloon, the shape of my family through glass. I slide my phone into my back pocket and exhale like I've been holding my breath since 2:11 p.m. I unlocked a door. I'm not going back inside it. My phone lights up again, this time with Mom's name. I answer on the first ring. Zoe, she whispers, voice thin and papery. I can hear the restaurant behind her, the clatter and the recorded birthday song from another table. Honey, where are you? In the parking lot, I say. The streetlight hums over my head. I love you. I paid for my food and your cake and tipped the server. I'm not being volunteered anymore. She lowers her voice further. The manager is standing by the table. I'm so embarrassed. I know, I say. They can split it evenly or itemize what they ordered. Either way, it isn't mine. There's a small silence, like she's swallowing something. Okay, she says, which in Mom's language means, I don't like this, but I hear you. I don't want a scene. Neither do I say. I'll see you soon. Happy birthday, Mom. I love you, she says, almost a question. I love you, I say back and end the call. Through the glass, everything looks a little slower, like a play I've already seen. Donovan is up out of his chair, waving his wallet like the motion will generate money. Caitlin's got her phone in her hand, lips pressed tight, scanning for a magic solution. Eli has his head down, counting out bills into tidy stacks. Aunt Elisa's already peeled off a row of 20s from a rubber-banded roll and is flattening them against the table with her palm. Lexi is angled toward Mom, saying something small and probably kind. A man in a black button-down with a name tag, manager, you can tell by the posture, stands at the end of the table with his hands clasped. Not angry, just present. Riley is there too, handheld card reader in one hand, pen in the other, face neutral. Professionals in the splash zone. The group chat pings. Caitlin. Zoe left us with a huge bill on Mom's birthday. Unreal. Another right after, I cannot believe you would do this to me. Her. I type slow, on purpose. I paid my share and tipped. Don't volunteer me again. 3 dots. They disappear. Then, this is not the time, Zoe. I don't answer. Inside, I watch Riley set receipts down like playing cards. The manager says something and gestures at the check presenters. Eli hands over his stack of cash. Riley counts it quickly, lips moving. Aunt Elisa slides her 20s into the pile without fanfare. Donovan tries a card. Riley runs it, shakes their head once, and tilts the screen toward him. He frowns and digs out another card with exaggerated disbelief, like the machine is the problem. Caitlin looks toward the door, toward me, like staring will magnetize me back in. I don't move. My fingers are cold and I realize I've been standing by the same oil spot for 10 minutes. Another text pops up, this one just from Eli. We've got it. Drive safe. I thumb back a little heart and sit in my car. The Corolla's heater coughs to life and warm air blows against my knuckles. I watch the windows fog and then clear. Time stretches into 15 minutes that feel like 20. The chatter inside drops a notch. Riley tears the long printout into smaller strips, one for each payer. The manager's shoulders loosen. He stops hovering and steps back. The handoff of cards and slips turns into pens clicking and signatures, the business of being done. The chat goes quiet. The last message sits there, Caitlin's unreal, all caps and cooling. Then a new ping from an unexpected corner. Aunt Elisa, new rule, everyone pay for what they order. Lexi reacts with a heart. Eli adds a thumbs up. Mom types and deletes, and then sends a single pink heart, her compromise between sides. Caitlin finally, can we not do this here? No one replies. The front doors open and a cluster spills out. The after-dinner shuffle. Eli glances toward my car but doesn't angle over, just gives the smallest thumbs up in the air like a signal. He's carrying his receipt folded into a narrow strip. Lexi hooks her arm through his and tucks into his side against the cold. Donovan is talking fast to Caitlin, his hands going. I can't hear him, but I don't need to. I've heard that tone before when people are trying to convince themselves they're not at fault. Caitlin's eyes are shiny and hard in the parking lot lights. Mom comes out between them and puts a hand on each of their arms, peacemaker by instinct, lines deeper around her mouth. I turn my key, and the engine settles into its familiar idle. My tote sits on the passenger seat, the florist paper crinkled where I set it down. I think about the envelope under Mom's hand at the table, the candle smoke, the way Riley had said thank you like they meant it. Another ping. Caitlin directly to me this time. I hope you're happy. You embarrassed me, I type. I'm not trying to embarrass you, I'm done being assigned. She doesn't answer. I pull out of the spot and merge back toward the highway. The sign for the furniture warehouse blurs by. My phone buzzes once more before I hit the on-ramp. Aunt Elisa again in the family thread. Sunday lunch next week, my house. Bring what you want to eat. Pay for what you want to eat. Mom's heart pops up under it right away. I exhale. My lane is clear. The radio is off. The car is quiet, except for the rattle the mechanic says isn't urgent. For once, the weight in my bag is just paper and ribbon, not a whole table's worth of assumptions. We meet at the diner on Saturday, the one with the neon coffee cup that blinks even in daylight. The specials board promises meatloaf and not much else. Mom slides into the booth across from me, her purse tucked in like it needs its own seat. I put the menu down and say, pie, and she smiles like that's what she came for anyway. We split a slice of lemon meringue. The meringue is a skyscraper, toasted just enough. The waitress sets it between us with 2 forks and 2 steaming mugs. Coffee for her, tea for me. The bill will be under $15. That's part of the point. Mom taps her fork against the plate and then stops. I'm sorry about the other night, she says. I should have shut that down, the staff thing. It wasn't funny, I say. You don't have to apologize for her. I'm apologizing for me, she says. She picks at the pie like she's not sure she deserves it. I don't like scenes. I freeze. Your sister says something big and I think if I laugh, it'll pass. It doesn't pass, I say. It lands. She exhales through her nose. When your father left, I started saying yes to anything that sounded like togetherness. You started fixing because you could. Caitlin started performing. I let it keep us moving. Easier than fighting, I say. Until it wasn't. She nudges the plate toward me. Have more. I take a bite. The filling is bright and tart, like it's doing its own arguing. I'm not paying to keep the peace anymore, I say. I'll show up for what we actually talk about. That's it. She nods, slow. I hear you. She sits with that for a second. I should have said something when Caitlin pointed at you and told the server you were paying. I felt sick and I still smiled. I'm sorry. I sip my tea. The bag tag bobs against the ceramic. I appreciate the apology, I say. But it's not a coupon I have to redeem. Her mouth twitches, not quite a smile. Fair. She eats a forkful of meringue and sighs. That was a good cake slice, though. It was, I say. My phone buzzes against the vinyl seat. A Venmo notification lights the screen. Donovan Taylor requested $386. Note, make it right, I show Mom. She frowns like the numbers themselves are rude. He has some nerve, she says, quiet and furious in a way I hardly ever hear. I tap decline and type back in the chat attached to the request. I did. Then I put my phone face down. He can send requests all day, I say. I'm not accepting bad math. Mom watches me, then nods like she was holding her breath. Good, she says. Good. We finish the pie. She wipes a dot of lemon from the corner of her mouth with her thumb. At the register, she reaches for her wallet, and I swipe first. Cash on the counter. Habit I don't need to break for a diner bill. Come with me, I say, pointing with my chin to the door that connects to the hardware store next door. It still smells like sawdust and fertilizer even in January. Mom gravitates, like she always does, to the aisle with kettles and toasters, the small dreams aisle. Her hand goes to the matte grey kettle she'd shown me over the phone weeks ago, price tag hanging, $24,999. She touches the handle. I shouldn't, she says automatically. You should, I say, and pick up the box before she can talk herself out of it. You use it every day. At the register, the cashier scans it and asks if we need a gift receipt. I shake my head. Mom holds the bag like a bouquet. Thank you, she says, and it lands in a different part of my chest than the restaurant thank yous. Outside, the cold air makes everything sharper. We stand for a minute by the door, the bag rustling between us. I love you, she says, like she needs to plant a flag. I love you, I say back. We're okay. We are, she says, like she's convincing herself. I'll talk to Caitlin about the jokes, about money. You don't have to mediate, I say. Just don't let her volunteer me. She nods, gripping the bag handle. The neon coffee cup blinks behind her shoulder. As we step off the curb, my phone rings. Eli. I answer with my shoulder, tucking the phone under my ear while I open Mom's car door for her. You with Mom? He asks. Yeah, I say. Pie run. Good, he says. She sounded better when I called earlier. A pause. You should know what Caitlin is planning for Thanksgiving. I close Mom's door and move to my side. What is she planning? Some kind of potluck fee to cover basics, he says, skeptical built into the word fee. She tried it out on me like it was a new app. Said you should collect since you're organized. I huff a laugh that isn't one. Of course she did. I told her to talk to everyone, not at them, he says. Just heads up. Thanks, I say. I'm not doing it. I figured, he says. I've got cash. It's shorthand now, not just a promise. Tell Lexi I owe her broccoli, I say, and he laughs for real at that. After we hang up, I sit for a second with my hands on the wheel. Mom buckles in next to me, the bag with the kettle tucked by her feet. She looks down at it and smiles to herself, small and private. We pull out of the lot. For once, the only thing I'm carrying out is what I chose to. Mom's kitchen smells like coffee and that cinnamon broom she keeps by the pantry. Sunday afternoon light comes through the blinds in stripes. There's a legal pad on the counter with Thanksgiving written at the top in Mom's looping handwriting. Under it, turkey, stuffing, green beans, rolls, pies, normal. Caitlin arrives 10 minutes late with a tote bag and energy. She sets a mason jar on the table with a flourish. There's a taped-on label in her handwriting, Basics. Okay, team, she says, clapping once. Potluck fee is $40 per adult to cover the boring stuff. Foil, butter, spices, napkins, all that. Kids are free. Donovan set up a QR if you don't have cash. She turns her phone and there's his Venmo handle on a blue screen. Mom actually wrings her hands. Do we need a fee? She asks. People can bring things. It's just easier, Caitlin says. No one has to think. Eli leans against the doorframe, arms crossed, neutral. Lexi perches on a chair, ankles crossed, eyes steady. Donovan is at the counter, flipping through the flyers Mom keeps in the basket. $40 is nothing, he says, like he's tossing chips into a pot. It's not nothing, I say, setting my tote on a chair. And it's vague. 40 for what? Caitlin smiles like she's on stage. Basics, she repeats. That's the whole point. You suggested I collect, I ask. Eli had warned me. I want to hear her say it. You're organized, she says. Bright. People will actually pay you. I'm not doing that, I say, matching her brightness with flat. I pull my laptop from my bag and open a sheet I started last night. Here's an easier plan. Turkey is on sale at Kroger for $1.19 a pound. A 16-pounder is $19.04. I type it in. If Eli brings the turkey, that's his cost. Stuffing, bread, celery, onion, broth. Call it 10 if Aunt Elisa makes it. Green beans, 6. Rolls, 8. Pies, 12 each if we buy from the bakery down the street. More if someone's making them. Foil, oil, spices, paper goods. I'll put those under host supplies. Whoever hosts doesn't pay for dishes they don't eat, and we split host supplies proportionally across everyone who eats here. Aunt Elisa, who had been quiet in the doorway, nods once. Transparency, she says. Put me down for stuffing and a pumpkin pie. Send me the total for whatever paper goods cost. Caitlin's smile thins. You're turning a meal into a staff meeting. I tap the table. I am turning money into numbers before it turns into a fight. You volunteered me at dinner, I say, and I keep my voice even. You told the server I was paying. Then Donovan sent me a $386 request labeled, Make It Right. I declined. Donovan lifts his hands, palms out. It was a nudge. You walked out. I paid for what I ate and Mom's cake, I say. I tip the server. I'm not your banker. Mom flinches at walked out like it's a swear word. Girls, she says soft, please. Caitlin folds her arms. You love telling people what to do. This is my way, Zoe. Simple. $40 done. It's simple for you, I say. It's not fair. Eli pushes off the doorframe. Splitting fairly isn't controlling, he says, voice level. It's adult. Lexi glances up, meets my eye, and nods once, small. She doesn't jump in, just backs me with that one look. Caitlin taps the basics jar with a fingernail. Fine, don't collect. I will. Do what you want, I say. I'm telling you my boundary. I'll bring what I sign up for. I'll pay for what I eat. I'm not paying a flat fee into a mystery jar. I scroll and add a line for green bean casserole under my name. I'll bring this. I'll send the sheet so people can claim things. Mom rubs her temple. I don't want anyone to be mad, she says, like she could tape that to the fridge as a rule. Transparency, or I'm bringing my own plate, Aunt Elisa says, too cheerful to be anything but a warning. She picks up Mom's pen and writes her name next to stuffing on the legal pad. Caitlin looks around the room for backup. Donovan is staring at his phone. Eli's neutral has a weight to it. Lexi tucks a piece of hair behind her ear. No one rushes to stuff money into the jar. Caitlin exhales hard. This is exhausting, she says. You make everything heavy. I make it clear, I say. I close the laptop. Text me what you decide. If it's a fee, I'll bring my own pan and a plate and see you for dessert. I pick up my tote and sling it over my shoulder. I can feel the old pattern tugging at my sleeve. Stay, smooth, make it better. I don't. Zoe, Mom says, half stand, half plea. I love you, I tell her. I'll help you with the oven the morning of. I'm not collecting fees. On the porch, the air is colder than it looks. My Corolla coughs and then catches. As I pull away from the curb, my phone buzzes. An unknown number. I let it go to text. This is Riley from the restaurant, the message reads. Manager asked me to thank you for tipping your own service the other night. Also, someone left a plastic apron here with your name on it. If you want it back, I can hold it behind the host stand. I stare at the screen at a red light, surprised and not. When they ran my card for the cake, they'd asked if I wanted the receipt texted and I'd punched in my number. I type back, "Thanks for the note. You can toss the apron." "But thank you." A bubble pops up. "Will do. Hope your mom had a good birthday." I picture the candle smoke curling up, the blue envelope under Mom's hand, the jar with basics on a scrap of tape. "She did," I type. "Thanks again." I set the phone face down on the passenger seat. The rattle under the dash does its little song as I head home. The spreadsheet can live in the family chat or not. Either way, I've already decided what I'm bringing and what I'm not. The community center room smells like floor wax and old basketballs. I signed the form online and paid the $40 rental fee on Tuesday. They gave me the key in a yellow envelope that says Multi-Purpose 2 in black Sharpie. The caterer I found, Tony's Smokehouse, a 2-person operation with a pop-up permit, sets up behind the concession window with a laminated menu taped to the glass. Pulled pork, $8, chicken, $7, sides $3, drinks, $1. There's a square reader on the counter and a hand-lettered sign, "Cash or card, pay here." I drag 2 long tables together for seating and cover them with the community center's stash of plastic cloths. On the side table, I set out paper plates, forks, and a cooler with bottled water and sodas I snagged at Kroger, receipt tucked under the tape. A clipboard sits next to it with a clean sheet titled Thanksgiving Sign Up, columns for dish and name. I did stop at the party store. The aprons were in a bin near the register. $2, flimsy, white. I bought one and wrote Caitlin across the front in blue marker. It rustles like a grocery bag in my tote. Mom arrives first with Aunt Elisa, carrying a vase for the sunflowers I brought, because of course she thought to bring a vase. Eli and Lexi show with a roll of tape and a happy birthday banner that looks like it's been folded in a drawer since last year. The room softens once the banner is up and the flowers are out. "Smells good," Mom says, peering at the menu. Her eyes are already shiny. "This is nice, honey." "It's simple," I say, which is the point. You order what you want, you pay for it. Caitlin sweeps in 15 minutes later like she's late to her own surprise. Donovan holds the door with his elbow, both hands on a black bakery box tied with twine. The label says Luna Cakes in gold. "Cupcakes," Caitlin announces. I got 2 dozen assorted. Salted caramel, red velvet, lemon, and something fancy with pistachio. Donovan sets the box down like a crown. "We splurged," he says, and glances at me like I should clap. Caitlin scans the tables, the window, the clipboard. "Look at you," she says, smiling too wide at me, "running the register." I pull the plastic apron from my tote and hold it out. It feels ridiculous and perfect in my hands. "Hosts don't assign staff," I say. Not mean, just true. If anyone's directing traffic today, it's the person who keeps volunteering others. Her eyes flick to the blue marker letters. She laughs once, short. "Very funny." I keep my voice steady so it doesn't turn into a speech. "My boundary, out loud so no one can pretend they didn't hear it. I'll come to anything we discuss and split. If someone announces I'm paying, I'm not there." Eli is nodding before I finish. "Same," he says. "I'm in for split or itemized." "Put me on record," Aunt Elisa says, leaning a hip against the table. "Transparency, or I'm bringing my own plate." Donovan opens his mouth like he wants to argue, and then shuts it when he notices no one else is laughing. Lexi stays quiet but moves the clipboard so it's front and center. Mom presses her fingers to the spot between her eyebrows and then drops her hand. "Caitlin," she says, soft but firmer than I've heard her in a while. "Apologize to your sister." Caitlin's face goes through 3 expressions in 2 seconds: defensive, wounded, something like panic, and then lands. She takes the apron and sets it on the table, tracing the marker letters with her thumb. "I'm sorry," she says, barely above the hum of the soda cooler, "about the staff thing and the check." She looks at me long enough to make it count. "I'm sorry." The room exhales. Mom's shoulders drop. Eli lets out a breath through his nose. Aunt Elisa nods like a teacher who's finally heard the right answer. Caitlin clears her throat and flips open the bakery box. Frosting spirals, tidy as little hats. "I'll cover these," she says, quicker, businessy. "And I'll run the drink cooler so Tony doesn't have to make change for Waters." She slides the clipboard closer. "And I guess," she glances at the title, "we can sign up for Thanksgiving like adults." "Thank you," I say. I mean it. People start lining up at the window in twos and threes. Tony's partner, a woman with a towel over her shoulder and a kind face, calls, "Next," with a practiced smile. Plates move along like a tiny assembly line. You point at what you want, you tap or hand over cash. A little receipt prints. Simple. I get the chicken sandwich and a side of slaw, hand over my card, and watch the square screen blink approved. It feels like breathing. Eli orders for him and Lexi. He slides $2 into the little tip jar at the window and gives me a look that says, "See, easy." Aunt Elisa pays cash and jangles coins into the jar. Mom gets a small plate and makes a face like the slaw is fancier than it looks. Donovan gets the most expensive thing on the board and actually pulls out his own card, jaw tight like he's lifting something heavy. Progress. Caitlin stands by the cooler, handing out waters and sodas, marking little tally lines on a sticky note for who owes what. She tilts the bakery box so people can point at flavors, then writes their names on the tops of napkins next to the cupcakes like a seating chart. It's the right kind of directing. Between bites, people drift to the clipboard. Aunt Elisa writes stuffing. Eli, turkey. Lexi prints neat letters. Roasted carrots. I write green bean casserole again. Caitlin hesitates, then writes mashed potatoes and adds "and basics, foil, butter, napkins, I'll buy, you can pay me back, I'll post receipts," and glances at me. I nod. That's how it's supposed to work. Tony leans in the window at one point and tells Mom, "Happy belated," and she glows in a way she didn't get to in the booth at the chain place. No serenade, no manager hovering, just a clean plate and a receipt that says what it says. Later, when people have frosting mustaches and the banner has fallen on one corner, Caitlin sidles over to me, twisting the apron's neck loop in her hands. "So," she says, half challenge, half plea, "we're really doing split checks forever?" "Yeah," I say. "Or we talk it out before we do something different." She nods, a single bob. "Okay." She looks down at her thumb, now smudged a little blue. "Okay." She lifts the apron. "I'll hang this in the kitchen," she says, trying for light. "A joke." "Fine by me," I say. I'm not carrying it. We stack chairs. Eli brings the banner down. Mom kisses my cheek and smells like smoke and sugar. On my way out, I drop the room key back in the yellow envelope and slide it through the slot at the front desk. The receipt from Tony sits in my pocket. Mine and only mine. By the third week after the community center party, the family chat has a pinned message at the top. Standard practice, split checks or itemize. No surprises. It's from Aunt Elisa, but Eli added the pin and no one unpinned it. Under it, a steady stream of normal planning replaced the vague, "We got it" S. A screenshot of my spreadsheet lives in the thread. People claim rows and post photos of receipts. Caitlin uploads a picture of a Kroger haul, foil, butter, napkins, 2 boxes of freezer bags, and the receipt with her painted nail pointing at the totals. She types $27.58, split across 6 adults, show $4.59 each. Venmo me or cash day of. It's the right math. No one sends me a request for $386 anymore. Donovan quietly pays for a case of LaCroix and tosses the receipt in the chat with a thumbs up. Eli posts a photo of a thawing turkey in his sink with a clock emoji, which is his way of saying he's not waiting until the morning of. Lexi texts a picture of roasted carrot recipes and asks if anyone is allergic to thyme. Mom reacts with a heart to every single thing. Midweek, Caitlin texts me a photo of the plastic apron hanging on a tack in her kitchen, marker name front and center. The caption says, "Decor, LOL." I send back a thumbs up and then nothing else. She doesn't push. Saturday, Mom and I keep our pie date. The neon coffee cup at the diner blinks on and off like it's trying to wink. We split lemon meringue again because we're superstitious now, I think. The waitress knows our order and brings the forks without asking. "Guess what I did?" Mom says after her first bite. Her voice has a bounce I haven't heard in a while. "I signed up for a pottery class. Wednesday nights at the community center, 6 weeks." "Look at you," I say. "Wheel or hand building?" She smiles big. "Wheel. I want to make a bowl that isn't lopsided, or maybe a lopsided bowl. We'll see." "Text me a photo of your first lump," I say. And she laughs so loud the waitress looks over and smiles too. At the register, Mom puts a 10 on the counter before I can. "My treat," she says, chin set in a way I recognize from my own face. I let her. It's a small bill. It's hers to cover. Outside, she says, "It felt good apologizing to you. It feels better not pretending we don't know what things cost." "It does," I say. "It's lighter." Thanksgiving planning stays boring in the best way. The sign-up fills without a fight. People ask questions before buying anything. Caitlin posts, "Bakery called to confirm cupcake order. Paid today, 42.16. No reimbursement, my choice." No drama, just a receipt and a decision she owns. I text her privately, "Thanks for covering." She replies with a heart. On a Tuesday, she asks if I have time for coffee. Neutral ground. We meet at a place near campus with concrete floors and plants hanging from the ceiling. She's already there, hands around a big cup like it's a microphone. We both order at the counter. I get a small latte, she gets a chai with oat milk. 2 separate orders, 2 separate receipts. The barista calls our names one at a time. "I got weird in that restaurant," she says as soon as we sit. "I thought if I said it was a joke, it would stay a joke." "It wasn't a joke," I say, "and I've let a lot of not jokes slide." "I know." She picks at the edge of the corrugated sleeve. "It's embarrassing, if I'm honest. Not the bill. The way I made you do it without asking. And then the Venmo thing. Donovan's idea. He thought he was, I don't know, fixing it. He sent it to me," I say. I declined. "I told him not to do that again," she says. "He hates talking about money. I like acting like it's magic." She scrunches her mouth. "I don't want to be that person anymore. Or at least, I don't want to make you pay for me being that person." "Good," I say. I keep my voice calm because I mean it. My line isn't going anywhere. Split or itemize. No surprises. She nods, quick. "I can do that." She looks up. "We're okay?" "We're okay," I say. "We're not going to be best friends overnight, but we can be sisters without me being your safety net." She leans back, relieved. "I can live with that." When we finish, we both stand and toss our cups at the same time, like we rehearsed it. At the counter near the door, the tip jar has a little sign that says, "Thanks a latte." I drop in change. Caitlin drops in $1. We head out. No apron between us, no assumptions. Just a small bill we both saw coming. The night before Thanksgiving, I'm at Mom's kitchen helping set out pans. A little slip of clay sits by the sink, the start of a bowl. It's lopsided and lovely. Mom wipes counters and hums. The legal pad list is scratched through with names and amounts. Under host supplies, Caitlin wrote, "Receipts posted, reimbursement received, $27.54, then drew a smiley face. Eli comes by with the turkey to brine and sets 2 20s under the magnet with the grocery list. His contribution toward the extra run for ice he knows will happen. Lexi labels serving spoons with little pieces of tape so we don't put gravy on dessert. My phone pings. The pinned message at the top of the chat catches my eye again. Short and clear. Standard practice. Split checks or itemize. No surprises. It's boring. It's perfect. Later, after we eat and everyone leaves with the right leftovers, Mum wraps me a small plate of pie for the road. She hands it to me with both hands like a gift. "See you Saturday?" she asks. "Same time," I say. On my way out, my tote feels like it always should. Flowers sometimes, receipts that are only mine, nothing heavy I didn't choose.